We have Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders taking on Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. This is your Week 6, 2025 prediction and preview video. Let's get straight into it with the home team here. Answering this matchup, the Washington Commanders are 3-2. And they're coming off an amazing win last week over the Los Angeles Chargers. They won this game 27-10. And it was the first game back for Jayden Daniels. He missed the last 2 weeks prior to this matchup, dealing with a sprained knee injury that he suffered against the Green Bay Packers. And he looked really good. He was 15-26 for 231 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 0 interceptions. And he also had 39 rushing yards on the ground. The biggest key here for the Commanders is to keep Jayden Daniels upright. Give him enough time inside the pocket. Against the New York Giants, he looked really good. And even early on against the Green Bay Packers, but as the game went on against the Packers, Laramie Tunsil and Josh Conerly, they could not protect Jayden Daniels enough. And he tried to go out there and try to make some scramble plays. He hurt his knee. But we saw last week when this offense and their offensive line was able to protect Jayden Daniels, they went to a different mode, even without Terry McLaurin, because you had Deebo Samuel as your number 1 wide receiver. Get this run game going with that offensive line protection and use a lot of misdirection in this matchup. You would think a Chicago Bears team that has TJ Edwards and the same with Tremaine Edmonds, they'll be stout against the run. That has not been the case this season. They ranked 31st against the run. They allowed 240 rushing yards in total to the Las Vegas Raiders. That was the breakout game for Ashton Jeanty. Up to that point in time in the season, the Las Vegas Raiders had a tough time running the football. So you go out there with Jayden Daniels and the same with Deebo Samuel. Put him in the backfield. Put him inside the slot on some jet sweep plays and get this run game going from north to south here. Run downhill, and then you want to test out those linebackers going from east to west. That is what you have to do in this matchup against the Bears. Live by the run and don't give up on the run game here. Even though Austin Ekeler is out right now dealing with a torn Achilles injury that he suffered against the Green Bay Packers, he's out for the rest of the season. You have the versatility here with Deebo Samuel. That's why you made the trade to bring him in this offseason. He can play inside the slot. He can be an outside wide receiver, and you can flip him in the backfield. He can give you a lot of good rushing plays. But you also drafted a very good rookie in Jacory. He wants to be known as Bill, so we'll call him Bill. Bill is a very good player coming out of the backfield. Has been a very good rookie so far this season. Run this offense through him, and the same with Jayden Daniels. We all know that Jayden Daniels, he can use his legs. Look at what he did last year. One game in particular against the Atlanta Falcons. It was a Sunday night football game. He's constantly going out there and picking up third down over and over again with his legs and use the play action against his Bears team. Now their secondary, they have some players here. One player in particular is Tariq Stevenson, who is a very good player on the back end of that defense. He's the same player last year. He was celebrating with the crowd. The ball tipped up in the air and went for a Hail Mary completion. So you know that he's going to have a lot of emotion in this matchup. But Jalen Johnson is out for this game. He's their best cover corner in my opinion. So you can get away with a bunch of deep shots down the field if you want to. But I don't think that you have to go out there and stretch out the field here. You have Deebo Samuel, who can kill you in the intermediate routes. He can kill you underneath. The same with Chris Rodriguez in the backfield. He can catch the football out of the backfield. Not the same level as Austin Ekeler, but you have so many players that can just give you so many different things in the backfield with the Commanders. And Terry McLaurin has missed the last couple of weeks dealing with a quad injury. But he's on pace to play in this matchup. If he's able to play, you have him on the outside and you use him as a decoy. He draws in that attention. Now Zach Ertz is one-on-one with those linebackers underneath. He's one-on-one with a safety. And now Deebo Samuel, you can be even more creative with him. You can base him inside the slot. You can put him more so on the outside, or even just have him in the backfield. And this is something that Cliff Kingsbury has done early on this season. And let's not forget, it was a hold-in situation this offseason with Terry McLaurin. He wanted his contract. They paid him his money. So he came out to a slow start. But if he can play in this game, he'll have a huge impact against the secondary with the Washington Commanders. In the offensive line protection here, you have Josh Conerly. He started to play better over the last couple of weeks. He's a rookie at the right tackle position. I think that he'll be a superstar in the next couple of years. And you have a very good veteran in Laramie Tunsil. This is a very good matchup for the Commanders in terms of trench play on the offensive end. As long as you can keep this defense off balance and you can run the football, and I trust that they will, you'll be fine. And one more thing to note about Jayden Daniels, he's a weird quarterback. If the Bears do put enough pressure on him, His anticipation is so amazing. He's going to throw the football right before the wide receiver turns his head around. He's going to throw them open constantly. But if you can give him enough protection and work off that play action, we can easily see him have 3 total touchdowns in this matchup. It should be a very good offensive output for the Commanders in this one. And be on lookout for Andrew Wiley at the right guard position. He's been able to practice over the last couple weeks, and he tore his ACL late last year in the NFL playoffs. But he was their best offensive lineman last season. So to pair him up with Laramie Thompson and Josh Connerly, this could be a very good offensive line unit over the course of the season. Now, the defense here with the Commanders, they've had some up and down moments this year. The pass rush has started to get better because of the scheme that they have with Dan Quinn, who is a phenomenal defensive head coach. But you have to put that pressure on Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams can kill you from inside the pocket and from outside the pocket, but you want to keep him off balance. You don't want to just keep him inside the pocket and just let him dissect you. He's done that before against the Dallas Cowboys. He did that against the Las Vegas Raiders until Max Crosby went crazy in the first and the fourth quarter. You have to constantly put pressure on this kid over and over again, and I will blitz Caleb Williams from different angles. He's had some good moments against the blitz. He's had some bad moments against the blitz. Make him beat the blitz over and over again. And I will blitz some of these players out of the secondary, confuse him at the line of scrimmage, and you can rotate your linebackers back into space. Now, Bobby Wagner in coverage has been that great this season, but as a tackler, he's been phenomenal. He's still holding things down. He had an amazing game last week in terms of just putting pressure on Justin Herbert from the middle of the field and just making tackles in space. Be on lookout for him. And you can blitz Bobby Wagner from the middle of the field. But my thing is this with Bobby Wagner. If you can fake blitz and you can rotate over, similar to what the Jacksonville Jaguars did to Patrick Mahomes this Monday, you can walk away with an interception with Caleb Williams because he loves those underneath passes in the middle of the field. His safety blanket has become Rome Odunze, and the same with Cole Kmet. Take away Rome Odunze at all costs and be on lookout for DJ Moore. DJ Moore is still the most talented wide receiver that they have on their team. But Rome Odunze, that's the guy that's been able to go out there and give a lot of opposing teams problems this year. The Minnesota Vikings in week 1, the Dallas Cowboys a couple weeks later, and the same with the Las Vegas Raiders. And keep this in mind. This is a Bears team that is coming off a bye week. And the one thing that we know about Ben Johnson, he loves wacky plays. Expect the unexpected. He may run a flea flicker like how he did against the Dallas Cowboys. He may run a situation to where it's a multi-set pass in the backfield. He may pass it to Caleb Williams, pass off to a wide receiver. He may pass the football down the field. That is how wacky of a play caller and a head coach he's been. So expect the unexpected with the Chicago Bears. But it starts up front with the trench play here with the Washington Commanders. What works to their favor? The Bears, they can't stop the run and they cannot run the football consistently. And you have a very strong defensive tackle unit with Daron Payne, the same with Javon Kinlaw and Johnny Newton. Johnny Newton had a crazy play last week against Justin Herbert. He puts his hands up and that play went for an interception. Right at the goal line. That's what you look for. It was basically a touchdown saving play by Johnny Newton. You just have to impact the game from the interior on Caleb Williams so he cannot step up inside the pocket. It's going to be tough. We're going to name the offensive lineman here when we talk about the Chicago Bears, but they have the talent to do so up front. But be on lookout for Frankie Louvu, who's one of the most complete linebackers in the NFL. And you have Von Miller. I know that he's older. He's not the same player that he once was many years ago with the Denver Broncos or in that first year with the Buffalo Bills. But he has 3 sacks on the season. And you have Preston Smith, who has been a very good run stopper in the past in his career. So the front 7, they're set there. But I am worried about the secondary of the Washington Commanders. And one player in particular, Marshon Lattimore. He's given up a lot of deep plays this season. He's had glimpses of being that superstar corner that he was in the past 3-4 years ago with the New Orleans Saints. But this is a player you traded for at the trade deadline last year to limit those big plays. And man coverage this year, he's been very inefficient at times. They need him to play better in this matchup. And I would not match him up one-on-one with Rome Odunze. I'll put roll coverage on Rome Odunze, and I'll have him matched up on DJ Moore and have a safety over the top. Outside of Marshon Lattimore, I like the talent that they have in the secondary. I still like Marshon Lattimore, by the way. You have Trey Amos, who's been a very good rookie so far this season, has had some up and down moments, but the potential is definitely there. And you have Mike Sainristil inside the nickel cornerback position. Now, last season, he was more effective, but we're only just a couple weeks into this season. I expect for him to be better moving forward. But this could be a very good game for the Washington Commanders. You should be able to beat up on this Bears team in trench play. As long as you send those different blitzes and different stunts up front with Caleb Williams and you confuse him, you could come away with this game. Now let's talk about Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. They're currently 2-2 entering this matchup against the Washington Commanders. And the last time that we saw this team play was against the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a tough, gritty win. It came down to a blocked field goal attempt to win that game. But Caleb Williams, 22 of 37, 212 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception, and he only got sacked once. He was dealing with pressure a lot coming from the side with Maxx Crosby. Now in this matchup, Braxton Jones is not listed as a starter. Theo will start the left tackle position. You have Joe Thuney, one of the best guards in the game. Drew Dalman, who is a phenomenal athletic center. Jonah Jackson. They need more out of him at the right guard position. And Darnell Wright is questionable for this game, but is on pace to play in this matchup. It comes down to the offensive line protection here with Caleb Williams. Can you buy him enough time inside the pocket? We know that Caleb Williams can dissect you from inside the pocket as a pocket passer. He can get the football out quick. Look at what he did early on against the Minnesota Vikings, against the Dallas Cowboys. Granted, one of the worst defenses in the NFL, and against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders have a tough defense. The problem with the Raiders is their offense with Geno Smith. But Caleb Williams has been put through some tough situations this season, and he's bounced back very nicely in my opinion. You have to get him going early on with a bunch of short passes in this matchup. The one thing with Dan Quinn, we know that he will go out there and he'll try to heat up a young quarterback over and over again. Even though he's not the main defensive play caller, he still has a heavy influence on this defense. So if you kill them underneath, you can take those deep shots down the field with Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, and Cole Kmet. DJ Moore is still a very good playmaker. 16 receptions, 173 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown, and 4 games this season. We're used to DJ Moore going out there and having crazy numbers with quarterbacks like Sam Darnold in the past. The same with Baker Mayfield with the Carolina Panthers. That wasn't a good situation. And even the same with Cam Newton in his rookie season. You have to get him going, and you have to lean on him in this game. They take away Rome Odunze and those tight ends. But if they're just going to go out there and leave Rome Odunze by himself in one-on-one coverage, and we've seen the Commanders do that a lot this season, go to Rome Odunze. That is who Caleb Williams is most comfortable with right now. You lean on him in those situations, but they put roll coverage on Rome, you have to go somewhere else. You can't go out there and have those bad turnovers against the Commanders team. They'll try to bleed the clock and run you on and off the field. But Rome Odunze in 4 games this season, 20 receptions, 296 receiving yards, 5 receiving touchdowns. He's averaging 15 yards a catch. And this is a Bears team. They love to run a 2 tight end set with Colston Loveland, and the same with Cole Kmet. We saw Cole Kmet get things going against the Las Vegas Raiders. But I'm looking at Colston Loveland in this one. This is a situation on the perimeter. The Bears have so many weapons, but Caleb Williams is just so comfortable with Rome Odunze right now, and the same with Cole Kmet. He has to scan the field and believe in his playmakers, and even give DJ Moore some one-on-one shots down the field. I'm not saying go out there and just give him 50-50 balls the entire time, but if you have a favorable matchup on the outside with someone like Marshawn Lattimore, you take that opportunity. And Colston Loveland hasn't done much this season, and they selected him in the first round. You want to see them get him going as well. We've seen Ben Johnson be one of the best offensive minds in the NFL over the last couple of years with the Detroit Lions, because they beat you at so many different angles and play action with the run game, with multiple weapons on the perimeter, and the potential is there. And we've seen this Bears team go out there and give teams problems like the Cowboys and the same with the Raiders. It needs to be more consistent. Now, I am worried about the run game here for Chicago. You're ranked in the bottom half of the NFL in terms of rushing efficiency. And if you take away those rushing yards with Caleb Williams, they're ranked 29th in the NFL with the running backs in terms of rushing yards per game. They're ranked 24th in the NFL altogether. They have to get some production out of the backfield here with DeAndre Swift, who is a talented running back, and the same with Kyle Monangai. I'll give Kyle Monangai more carries in this matchup and see if you can get a boost out of the backfield with him. But he's been a very good player in small doses this season. You just want to take that pressure off of Caleb Williams and expect a bunch of screen passes in this game. The offensive line protection, they've been solid. You just need more at the tackle position, and the same with Jonah Jackson at the right guard position. But Caleb can dissect you. Give him enough time inside the pocket, just like Jayden Daniels. He will make you pay, and he will reward you every single time if you just give him that time inside the pocket. Now, as far as the defense here with the Bears, the defensive line has been very underwhelming to me, in my opinion. And the reason why I say that, they have a bunch of talent up front. Montez Sweat is a former player with the Washington Commanders. They traded the second-round pick to bring this man in, and they gave him a massive contract extension. Up to this point, the pressure rate has been solid, but he only has 1 sack on the season. They need more out of him in this matchup. And the same with Deo. They brought Deo over from the Indianapolis Colts. Had a high pressure rate last season. You have to put pressure on Jayden Daniels, but you have to do it without blitzing. Jayden Daniels is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL against the blitz. Look at what happened last year in multiple games against the Cincinnati Bengals. Monday Night Football. They blitzed him from inside the slot many times. He crushed him over the top with Terry McLaurin over and over again. And the same with the Dallas Cowboys last year. So you just can't sit back there and blitz the entire time. And this is a defense right now. Underneath Dennis Allen, they love to play that man coverage constantly over the top. You have to be careful with that. When you face a team that has a bunch of split action and a bunch of just get the football out quick, scan the defense, get the football out quick, you have to play up and play that press man coverage, but at the same time, play some zone here, mix some things up, play some combo coverage here. But this defensive line, they need to be better in this matchup, and they have to stop the run. I talked about the rushing problems here with the Bears, but defensively, the gap responsibility has to be better. And you expect for those big playmakers up front to be better. Grady Jarrett has missed the last couple weeks dealing with an injury. We know that he's a very good run stopper coming over from the Atlanta Falcons. And you have Gervin Dexter Sr. Tremaine Edmonds is a very good linebacker. The same with TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards is questionable for this game, but he's on pace to play in this matchup. See if you can get more production out of those linebackers and move them around. I'll even go out there and really blitz TJ Edwards to see if that can help you in the run game here. We know that Tremaine Edmonds is a phenomenal linebacker in terms of pass coverage, but they need to go out there and they need to contain the run. The secondary play here, Kevin Byard is having a very good season. Had 2 interceptions against Geno Smith and the Las Vegas Raiders. You have Nahshon Wright. He's playing in place of Jalen Johnson. Be on the lookout for that. Jalen Johnson hasn't been fully healthy for the entire season. Has played some action, but was dealing with an injury coming off the offseason. We'll see what happens with him long term. Right now, he's on IR. He's not eligible to come off IR at this current moment. So we'll see what happens in the secondary without him. But you still have talent with Tyreek Stevenson and the same with Kyler Gordon inside the nickel cornerback position. You want to keep all the players in front of you. Your tackling has to be on point here. And you just can't give up those big plays going deep down the field to Terry McLaurin and the same with Deebo Samuel. And the biggest story here is the fact that Caleb Williams was taken with the 1st overall pick. Then the Washington Commanders selected Jayden Daniels with the 2nd overall pick. This is going to be a fun and a close football game because they're going to run with that notion. We have Caleb Williams in the same draft class with Jayden Daniels. I have the Washington Commanders winning this game 28-24. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have taking this game? The Commanders or the Bears? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, when each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.